Corrections is a people person job. And you're catching people in the worst point or part of their lives. So if you don't understand empathy, you're gonna have a lot of problems. You don't understand what we're really about. It says corrections, not consequences. You can't give up on people. I think, and a lot of guys sadly get dumped on correction because people have given up on them. This is their last hope. The second largest mental health provider in the country is Rikers Island. More people are being held here with mental health services than any other psychiatric hospital in the country. And in poor communities, it's the first time anyone gets any kind of mental health treatment is in a jail. So we have an obligation to give them the best treatment they can get. And correction is a part of that treatment. I was in charge of the mental health unit. I had about 350 to 400 inmates who were diagnosed with mental illness. I probably had close to 120, 130 officers. What's up? It was a brick wall when I started between the clinical and the uniform. And what happened was we just tore that wall apart. I never studied mental health, never went to school for it. And I just saw that there was something, you could see the misbehavior, but I could also see something else was causing it. There was something behind that. And I began to work with the psychologists and the clinicians and the clinical staff. And he said, go get this book, and that's what started it. And then another doctor says, go get this book. And it was like I did like an informal education. I don't understand what this word means, but they would sit down with me and they would tell me. It was really cool. You don't have to go to graduate school to observe behaviors. And the one advantage of a person being in jail is there's a correction officer watching him or her 24 hours. Is he taking a shower? Is he bathing? Is he playing cards? Is he sleeping all day long? When you team that up and give it to clinical staff, they know exactly what they got. And then I got to see the change in behavior. I saw one individual, one of the most assaultive guys on the island, and he left was one of the nicest guys on the island. So we developed CAPS, Clinical Alternative to Punitive Segregation, for people who had a history of violence. There was a decision we were not going to put anyone with a serious mental illness in restrictive housing, or what we used to call punitive seg. That means 23-hour lockdown, and I was called in to run it. What we did is, instead of looking at jails, we looked at psychiatric hospitals. And when the planning was on, we said, what can we take from a psychiatric hospital? Our roles were different, but our goal was the same. The uniform side was all about security, and the clinical side was all about, healthcare. And as if they're opposite. They really are intertwined. The difference is the hospital, they project that they're there to help you. And that's what we kind of brought into the CAPS units. As we started to do it, and it took us a while, it didn't happen overnight, it started to work. And what happened was we realized that if you stress safety, not security, and by safety, everybody on that unit feels safe, the officers, the clinicians, the inmates, you start to get security. And the housing area actually became a community, and it was really cool. That's how you get the culture change, when they see it works. At one point, some of these units, the other units we developed afterwards, where the medication compliance rate was higher than the hospital. It kind of puts the mental health community on guard, because if we can have successes in here, where guys leave better, get jobs when they leave, I think I'm kind of pushing the mental health community. We can do it in here, let me see what you can do.